Hello, welcome to my channel. I know most of my viewers are probably not here for Girls Planet 999, but since the last episode of the show comes out tomorrow, I decided to make a video about my picks. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to share my thought process. To make my picks fair, before I chose, I considered my top 3 for 5 categories: vocal, rap, dance, all-rounders, and visuals. After all, I'd want a group to have at least 1 or 2 members skilled in each category. I only selected each girl once, even if she's talented in more than one category, in order to give the chance to as many people as possible. First, here are my top 3 vocalists. I think the third best vocalist is Nanika Shanna. I like the light tone of her voice and how cleanly she sings. My second best vocalist is Kim Chae-hyun. Her voice is genuinely so beautiful, and she's proven to be fairly stable despite making a few mistakes. And finally, my top vocalist is Kim Bora. Her voice is strong, and she hits high notes with such ease. Next, here are my top 3 rappers. My third best rapper is Seo Sin-yu. Now, we haven't really seen much of her rap, and I honestly think she's more of a vocalist, but I can't ignore that her Missing You rap was pretty amazing. My second best rapper is Izaki Hikaru. I think she has the right feel for rap. She has a lot of charisma and she fits the killing parts in raps very well. Finally, my top rapper is Kamimoto Kotone. She's rapped in every stage from the demo stage to the creation mission stages, and every single time she does well. Her deep voice also fits the hardcore rap styles. Now, here are my top 3 dancers. Honestly, the contestants remaining at this part are pretty amazing dancers, but these 3 stood out to me. My third best dancer is Kim Soo-yeon. She is confident with good stage presence and also has a lot of skills and versatility. My second best dancer is Kim Da-yeon. I'm genuinely impressed by how she managed to choreograph a 9-person dance in only a few days by herself, and she's naturally very talented. Finally, my top dancer is Shen Xiaoting. I think her experience in ballroom has made her very attentive to detail during dances, and she is overall a pretty emotive dancer. Now we move on to all-rounders. This was a difficult category to judge for me, but here are my top 3. My third best all-rounder is Mashiro. I think her skills are pretty underrated. She showed her leadership skills when she led her team for 3 weeks in a row and won those 3 weeks. She's a good dancer and stable vocalist, and while we haven't seen her rap, she's shown her versatility in rock-style concepts as well. My second best all-rounder is Surichi. She said it herself in the demo stage. She's confident in all categories, and we've seen her pull off many concepts. My top all-rounder is So Young-eun. She showed well-developed skills in every area. Even though her impression from the demo stage was that she was a rapper and dancer, she turned around and was the main vocal for the next 3 performances. Finally, we have visuals. This category had the least weight for me because I personally think the girls are talented, beautiful, and popular enough to possibly not need a visual member. I would rather someone make the debut team for their skills rather than their visuals, but I have to acknowledge that visuals do play a role in a group's success and popularity, so here are my top 3 visuals from the show. Now that we have that done, we can finally get to my actual top 9 picks, but there was a lot to consider. I wanted to choose this like Kang Ye-soo picking her cell in episode 2, harmoniously. I'll go from oldest to youngest and include possible roles I think each girl could have on the team. First, we have Kawaguchi Yurina as a potential visual and sub-vocal. I don't think she's the best in anything, but she's proved to be a stable performer and her popularity is undeniable. Next, we have Shen Xiaoting as a possible leader, main dancer, and visual. Mnet showed her leadership skills in the first few episodes, but lesser so in recent episodes. I still think she would make a good leader, although I imagine that they'd want a Korean leader. My next pick is Mashiro as a potential leader, lead vocalist, and lead dancer. Again, Mashiro's team did manage to win every time she led the team, so I presume her leadership skills are pretty solid. Next, we have Kim Chae-hyun as a potential main vocal and sub-dancer. Then we have Kim Da-yeon as a potential leader, main dancer, lead rapper, and sub-vocal. My next pick is Nanika Shanna as a lead vocal, Then we have Kamimoto Kotone as the main rapper, and Ezaki Hikaru as the lead rapper and lead dancer, and finally So Young-un as the lead dancer, lead vocal, and lead rapper. Alternatively, with this team, I could also see Soo Ri-chi, Kim Soo-yeon, and Kang Ye-so fitting well in this team. Now let's go over some of the people that I didn't choose and why. Two of the most popular contestants are Choi Yoo-jin and Chae Bing. I personally think these two might do better as solo artists because they are quite a bit older than the rest of the group and extremely versatile, although I think there is a pretty good chance they debut with this group, at least Yoo-jin. Unfortunately, the fact is that they are a few years older than the oldest of the rest of my picks, and while I'm not trying to be ageist, I think for group dynamics it makes the most sense to have members close in age. I don't want to suggest that as the oldest members, either of these two girls would be overbearing in any way, but in Asian countries especially, age is a huge factor in respect. And not only are these two older, but Yoo-jin's also debuted for a while, and so the younger members may feel overly pressured to be respectful, even if the older members themselves don't do anything to pressure them. You also might be wondering why I didn't include Kim Bora, my top vocalist and a promising leader. For Bora and May, who have both debuted, I'm pretty stuck. Honestly, the three Cherry Bullet members that participated in Girls Planet 999 have gotten me interested in Cherry Bullet, and I feel like Cherry Bullet would benefit from the popularity of these members following the show. I think they'd be able to bring more attention to their group, and I'd like to see them continue successfully together. The last is Hyuning Bae. I'll admit, I started watching the show because of her since I am a fan of TXT and was curious to see what she would be like. What ended up happening with her is that the show gave her very little attention and screen time. The same thing happened with a few other popular contestants, like Yoshida Ririka, Mei, and Wonjae. They were popular off the bat and have fans, but they didn't get that much screen time. It's fairly clear at this point that there are people who the show promotes and wants to debut, and there are people who the show doesn't really promote as much. I know Bahia has a fairly large fan base, but at this point, since the show hasn't given her much attention, I think if she joins the debut team, it would be considered unjustified by many, and I think the negativity she might experience if she debuts on this particular team would be too much. Now this video is long enough already, so I'll end it here, but please feel free to comment your picks and I'll be happy to discuss them with you. Thanks for watching, bye!